Hello everybody and welcome to the final episode of Zack Plays Steins Gate. Yes, no matter how long this video is, this is the final episode. The reason for that is because, according to a comment on the last video, I have about an hour left, and so I don't want to make like a 45-minute video for this one, and then like a 15-minute video for the last video. So, here's the plan, guys. This video is going to be as long as it needs to in order for us to finish the game. After we finish the game, I will read to you guys the possible endings we could have had, including the true ending. I will also give you my opinions on all of the endings, and then I will finish off by giving you my opinions on the game as a whole. So, lots of stuff to cover. Remember that you don't have to sit down and watch this video in its entirety in one go. You can always, watch some of it at one point, pause it, watch some of it at another point, or just listen to it. You don't even have to watch it. You can just listen to it sort of like a podcast. That works as well. But let's get into it. I'm going to try not to go on tangents very much, and I will also try to read kind of speedy for you guys, because I don't want this to be like a 2-hour video. Let's go. Okabe. Oh, put away the phone. You're alive. What's a dumb thing to say? Fortunately, it looks like Karisu didn't hear me. She's busy combing her disheveled hair with her fingers. I breathe a silent sigh of relief.
I forgot I might run into you here.
What were you doing?
Thinking.
Oh, was she thinking about her death? I don't know what to say, so I keep my mouth shut. Karisu appears to be in the same boat. She's staring at the capsule toy dispenser in the corner, her face wearing the usual frown. The awkward silence drags on. When you think about it, Karisu's fate rests in my hands. My decision will determine whether she lives or dies. Her fantastic hypothesis yesterday was a desperate attempt to construct a scenario where she doesn't die. Even if she believes that her theory is correct, it must be difficult for her to avoid imagining her own death. I force a smile. I'm getting really uncomfortable here. Looks like I'm in your way, so I'll just go.
Oh, okay.
Damn, I was expecting a sarcastic remark like, since when do mad scientists have manners or something? Just then, something cold lands on the tip of my nose. When I look up, raindrops start landing on my forehead. An evening shower. It's only going to get more intense and quickly. Karisu hasn't moved a muscle. She's just standing there, with her usual arms folded, staring at the ground as if she doesn't notice the rain at all. Hey, it's raining.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
She's acting strange, like her mind is elsewhere. I knew it. She's been thinking about... Whoa! In less than a minute, the rain turns into a full downpour. We had no time to seek shelter.
What the hell?
Karisu's scream is drowned out by the roar of the rain.
Whew, what a surprise.
Hey, this is where we first met her. At the very beginning of the game. Do any of you guys even remember back then? Have any of you guys even watched the series since then? In October? Nearly a year ago. Jesus Christ. That's what you get for tempting the sky gods. Now, safely inside the building, we take a moment to catch our breath. It's been a week since Suzuha's time machine disappeared, but Radio Kaken is still closed. The lights are off, and it's pretty dark inside.
You should have worn me sooner. Even my underwear is soaked.
Whoa! Same here. I bet you're glad it's dark, huh?
What do you mean?
If the lights were on, I'd be able to see everything. Even in the dim lights, I could tell that Karisu is scrambling to cover her chest.
I forgot that you're a perv, too.
You're the one who announced that your underwear was wet.
Just drop it. If you're imagining what color my underwear is, I'll kill you.
I'm not imagining anything. She's too self-conscious, but the color of her underwear, huh? Gotta be white.
Achoo!
Cold?
I'm not stripping naked, if that's what you're suggesting. Your pervy tricks won't work on me.
Who said strip? Calm down, will you?
Gah.
But if you want to strip, go right ahead. I can't make out your scrawny figure in this light anyway.
Another word, and I'll eat your cerebral neocortex with ponzu sauce.
Sorry. Please spare me that horror. Still, these wisecracks are a welcome distraction.
A storm like that shouldn't last long. Guess I'll just have to wait it out.
I see Karisu's shadowy form move to sit on the staircase. I sit next to her.
Hey, get your own stair. What?
You're the one who said not to speak.
You're too close. Don't come any closer, okay? You can stay where you are, but come any closer and I'll push you away, okay?
Oh, I see. They're trying to make us like Kurisu, so we'll actually, like, try and have a decision between Mayuri and Kurisu. But guess what, guys? It's not happening. And honestly, I think that even from, like, episode 5, you should have been able to tell that I was going for the Mayuri ending. You should have been able to tell that because I just have such a bond with Mayuri. I don't know what it is about her character, and I know a lot of people feel the same way about Kurisu that I feel for Mayuri. But I just love Mayuri, man. I just adore her as a character, and I can't let her die. I can't do it. Our bodies gradually grow cold. We start shivering. Maybe I should take off my wet clothes, but if I do that, Kurisu will just call me a perv again. Better not. My eyes gradually adjust to the darkness. I can see Kurisu more clearly now. There you go, kids. There's your thumbnail, but of course this thing has to be right in the way. She's huddled up against the wall.
Don't look at me.
Impossible. How can you see where I'm looking? Does she have infravision?
So you were looking.
Damn, she used leading question on me. That's such a high-level technique. I avert my eyes from Kurisu and take off my lab coat. That's when I notice my coat is torn at the shoulder. Damn, must have caught it on something when we ran inside.
What are you talking about?
Just a little tear on my coat.
Is clumsiness one of your character traits?
Don't be ridiculous. I'm a mad scientist. I barely curse of insanity, not clumsiness. It seems like forever since I've talked to Kurisu as Huey and Kuma.
Yeah.
Kurisu suddenly holds out her hand.
Give it here.
What?
I happen to have a sewing kit with me. I'll stitch it up for you.
A sewing kit? You?
Something wrong with that?
I hand over my coat as asked. You're an experiment-loving girl. You're not supposed to be domestic.
Can't I be a domestic experiment-loving girl?
Oh no, she's domestic. My weakness! No! I've already said before that I like Kurisu in a romantic kind of way. But Mayuri, as a family kind of way. You, domestic?
Relatively, maybe. Well, actually, I don't know the domesticity index for Japanese high school girls these days.
There's an index for that, first I've heard of it. Kurisu skillfully threads the needle despite the darkness.
It's wet, so it's kind of hard to thread.
Did you really just happen to have that on you?
Get over it already. Is it really so wrong for me to have a sewing kit?
It's not wrong, it just seems like you planned for this.
So you're saying I brought it with me because I somehow knew your coat was going to get ripped? Uh-huh. Ridiculous. And before you get the wrong idea, I'm not fixing your coat because I want to or anything, okay?
Sundir. Nice Sundir line.
Don't mock me. You just happened to tear your clothes and I just happened to have a sewing kit handy when you did. It's coincidence, that's all.
Coincidence. Hey, you didn't time leap, did you?
So now you're saying that I went back in time for the sole purpose of repairing your stupid lab coat, uh-huh. Ridiculous, ridiculous. There, it's so important I said it twice. Comprende?
You're right. If you had time leaped, you would have brought a towel, not a sewing kit.
What's that? Sarcasm? All you do is complain.
After working for a while, Kurisu cuts the string with her teeth and then hands me back my coat.
Here.
Thanks.
By the way, it was dark, so I couldn't really see. If it turns out bad, it's not my fault. It was dark, that's all. Oh, and I hope you like the color, because I have no idea which thread I use.
It's random?
Black, red, or pink. Those are the 3 possibilities.
Let's just hope it's not pink.
Achoo!
Cold?
I guess.
Take my coat.
But it's wet.
Well, yeah, but... Silence, again. The words flow so naturally when it's just harmless banter, but 1 second of silence, and suddenly we have nothing to say. It must be because of what happened yesterday. I'm so desperate to avoid the topic that nothing seems safe. I know I need to say something, but what?
Have you made your decision yet?
Her voice is barely a whisper, but I can hear her clearly in the silence of the empty stairwell. I look at Kurisu. She's hugging her knees to her chest, presumably against the cold. My decision. I know what she means, that's why I can't answer.
You still haven't made up your mind? You like Mayuri, don't you?
What? Where did that come from? Kurisu keeps staring into the darkness.
It's probably just my imagination, but lately I've been seeing things like a strange sort of deja vu. In these visions, you're fighting to save Mayuri all by yourself. You never give up, no matter how much it hurts.
Kurisu, too.
Then you come to me for help. You're so desperate, so earnest, that I just have to do what I can. Not that I'm doing it for you, okay? I just want to save Mayuri, that's all. Anyway, these images are stuck in my head like memories.
So Kurisu's the same. She still has faint memories from previous world lines.
I tried self-analysis. Maybe I'm mistaking dreams for reality, projecting my hopes and fantasies. I don't know. But there's one thing I do know. You have to save Mayuri.
Aren't you afraid? To save Mayuri, I must undo the current world line. If I do that, Kurisu will die.
You know, it kind of feels like we're trapped in an ancient ruin.
Kurisu suddenly changes the subject. She looks around the dark, empty stairway.
Like, the world ended, and we're the only two people left. I've been thinking. Say you go to the beta world line, and everyone else goes with you. What if I can't go with you? What if I'm the only one left behind? Will the entire world become like this place? It's just a theory, but I can't help but wonder.
I need to say it. I'll save you. Not just Mayuri, but...
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Kurisu cuts me off sharply, then buries her face in her knees.
You asked me if I wasn't afraid. Of course I'm afraid. Maybe I'll disappear, maybe I'll be left behind all alone, or maybe only you will disappear, and everything else will stay the same. The world will continue, and nobody will even know that you existed. I'll go back to America as if nothing ever happened. Maybe... I feel hopeless just thinking about all the possibilities, but even so...
Kurisu raises her head and spears me with her glare.
Do you think that I would tell you to let Mayuri die?
Kurisu...
Jesus, it's cold.
Kurisu grabs her own arms. In the darkness, I see her shoulders shaking.
It's because of these wet clothes. This sucks. Anyway, enough of this nonsense. It's nothing but conjecture, baseless, worthless. I want to cut open my skull and excise the part of my brain that comes up with these delusions.
Now she's talking to herself in an angry tone. Kurisu has always been calm when faced with the unknown. I admired her for that. I thought she was facing this calmly too, but I was wrong. Behind her cool facade, she was struggling to cope with the knowledge that her very existence was in jeopardy. She was fighting that fear all alone. She's fighting that fear all alone. Reading is hard. And now it has finally come to the surface. Of course she's afraid. However brilliant she may be, she's just an 18-year-old girl. Kurisu abruptly stands up. I realize that I no longer hear the sound of rain pounding on the roof.
Listen, Okabe. You can't save both of us, correct?
Well, maybe you can with the true ending.
No matter how you struggle, it's one or the other.
But...
No buts. My answer won't change. Save Mayuri.
I hear the pain in her voice and also the resolve. Kurisu has made up her mind. I look away and clench my fists. My nails dig into the palms of my hands. Are you telling me to give up? To abandon you?
I could never
do that.
You can and you must. There's no other way.
No, you're our friend. I won't abandon you.
Okabe.
Kurisu drops to her knees and grabs me by my collar. I gasp for breath as she stares into my eyes. Her eyes are hard and stern. It's always like this when she scolds me. Always the same glare.
Is there another solution? There isn't, is there? I don't want to live on if it means sacrificing Mayuri. If you don't save her, I'll never forgive you.
Ugh. This can't be happening. I hate this choice with no right answer. I hate the universe for being so cruel. And most of all, I hate myself for forcing Kurisu to speak these words when she is the one with the most to lose. Tears well up in my eyes, but I bite my lip and hold them back. Is there really no other way? I can't bear it. I look straight back at Mayuri, and she holds me by my collar. And tightly, I embrace her slender body. Her clothes are still wet from the rain, but all I feel is warmth radiating from the core of her being. But you're right here! Why does it have to be this way?
Okabe.
Tension drains from her back and her hands. She gives her whole body to my embrace.
Thank you. I know you're hurting for me, but you've done enough. I'm fine, so just think about Mayuri, okay?
Despite her fear, Kurisu has made her choice. It's time for me to do the same. I need to decide here and now the future of the world. Which friends to let die? Holding Kurisu tightly, I whisper into her ear. I'm sorry. A meaningless apology. I want to save Mayuri. More than anything. These words are a death sentence, but I force myself to speak them. It takes every ounce of my willpower I possess. I can't save you!
I know.
When I finish, I feel as if a great weight has left my shoulders, and at the same time, as if 1,000 needles are stabbing into my heart, Kadisu weakly returns my embrace. Then she lets go and stands up.
Well then.
There's already a look of relief on her face.
I'm heading back.
Back? Where? To America.
The lab, of course. I need to dry my clothes. I want to take a shower, too.
In that case, we should go back together. But before I suggest it, Kadisu beats me to the punch, as if she read my mind.
You stay here and soak for a while. Understand?
We can't go back together. That's her verdict. Understand. I hang my head and shut my eyes. Kadisu's footsteps fade into the distance. I wrap my arms around my body. Even though it's summer and sweltering hot, I can't stop my body from shaking. I realize that part of me is relieved that Kadisu left alone. At least I won't have to face her again, to look upon the face of the girl I chose to die. I'm a coward! My self-loathing echoes in the darkness. Beep. Assistant. Cease to inquire what the future has in store, and take as a gift whatever the day brings forth. Horace, Italian philosopher. I'm going back to my hotel. Do what needs to be done. Good night. Aww. Poor Kadisu. I wait about 2 hours before returning to the lab. Kadisu is already gone when I get there. All she left is a single email. I sit down on the sofa while drying my hair with a towel. I look towards the PC in the corner of the room. It's already connected to the IBM 5100, ready for Daru to start hacking. I already got in touch with him. The hacking starts tomorrow at noon. I drove myself even further into a corner by telling that to Daru. Now I can't turn back, no matter how much I want to. I chose Mayuri. I will let Kadisu die. Showering didn't soften the retching pain in my heart. In truth, I'm just riding on Kadisu's resolve. Mine is still a flimsy thing. I can't help but wonder, is this really okay? Really?
Anyone here?
Mayuri opens the door and enters. For a moment after she catches sight of me, she looks ready to burst into tears, but that quickly gives way to a smile.
It's Ocarine!
What's up?
Oh, nothing. I just decided to stop by.
I swallow hard. Maybe I should explain the situation to Mayuri, but I know she'll feel guilty if I tell her. Mayuri doesn't need to know. Everything will be okay as long as we crack CERN's database and reach the Beta World line.
You know, I haven't talked much with Ocarine lately, but you know, I don't want to be a burden on Ocarine.
Can I really let it end like this? Shouldn't I tell her what Kadisu is sacrificing for her sake?
Did you take a shower?
Mayuri moves behind the sofa, grabs a bath towel on my head, and starts rubbing my hair dry.
You smell good, like shampoo.
I didn't mind the towel so much, but then she buries her nose into my hair and starts sniffing. Stop that! I jerk my head away. Mayuri goes back to drying my hair.
You know, I didn't go to Kamima today.
Why?
I was thinking about Ocarine. When I got to Ariake, I remember how sad you looked, and then I thought I shouldn't be having fun at Kamima. So I turned around and came all the way back.
Oh, I'm sorry for making you worry. Should I tell her? Or should I keep her in the dark? Keep her in the dark, she doesn't need to know.
You know, I haven't talked much with Ocarine lately. Maybe she's getting a little lonely.
Mayuri, how would you feel if I said I was keeping a secret from you?
You mean like Ocarine and Christian are actually dating?
Where did that come from?
Ocarine and Christian get along really well, right? I think you two are meant for each other.
Well, according to the true ending, or the anime at the very least, that's accurate. No, it's nothing like that.
Oh, okay. You don't have to tell me everything if you don't want to. Besides, it's normal to keep secrets from your hostage.
This isn't the time for that. Mayuri's hand leaves my head. I look over my shoulder in a panic, thinking she wandered off again. She's there. I grab her hand, but perhaps more forcefully than I meant to.
Mayushi doesn't want to be a burden.
Again.
So I'll wait until Okarin's ready to tell me. Just like I said yesterday, remember?
And if I decide to never tell you?
Well, I'd be curious. Really curious, but if that's what you want...
Even if my secret involves you?
Mayushi?
I haven't told you because I don't want to hurt you.
Is that why Okarin looks so sad all the time? Then I do want to know. I don't like it when Okarin's sad.
Even if it means you might get hurt, Mayuri replies. With a gentle smile.
Yeah.
She nods without any hesitation. Her smile is so sincere, it strikes me speechless.
Mayushi doesn't want to be a burden. When Mayushi was sad because of what happened to Granny, Okarin took Mayushi hostage, remember? That's why Mayushi always thought that whenever Okarin's sad, she could lend her strength to him, you know? Mayushi might not be useful, though.
Useful? Suddenly, I remember. Mayuri is going to die tomorrow. I've been through it once before. She died protecting me, and her last words were,
Finally, Mayushi was useful to Okarin.
So this is what she meant.
I don't want to see you hurting.
Very well. If that's how she feels, I'll tell her everything. I let go of Mayuri's hand and pat the sofa behind me. Take a seat. Mayuri does as she's told.
Can I get some snacks?
This is serious, remember?
Oh, right.
Mayuri sits up straight with her hands folded in her lap.
Okay, ready.
Everything I'm about to tell you is true. It's related to those dreams you had. I plan to sacrifice one of my friends for your sake.
Huh? Okarin?
Anxiety clouds Mayuri's face, but I ignore it and take a chin in my fingers. A switch was already flipped inside of me. You will soon regret your curiosity, my dear, for the deeds of the great Yuin Kuma are many and terrible. And so I begin, speaking as a mad scientist whose foolish experiments brought everything to ruin. I start with the first raid on the lab. I tell Mayuri how Mocha killed her. Next, I tell her about Suzuha and Ferris, about Lukaku, Mocha, FB, and Nei. I describe their fates in every detail, and finally, I tell her about Karisu. By sacrificing Makis Karisu, I will embark upon a journey to a glorious new world. There was a lot to explain, and Mayuri kept asking questions, desperate to understand the strange concepts I was throwing at her. Thanks to that, the conversation went longer than expected. It's already getting late. And that is the planned, most grand and devious of the insane mad scientist Yuin Kuma. I call it Made in Heaven. Finally, it's over. Mayuri says nothing. She's staring at her hands, which are clenched into tiny trembling fists. She looks ready to cry any second. What's the matter? What's the matter? Do you understand what you just told her? Mayuri shakes her head and bites her lip.
The whole time you and Christian were hurting, Mayushi was making costumes like nothing was wrong. I feel so stupid. I didn't know anything.
Of course you didn't. That's how I planned it. Are you disappointed in me, Mayuri? I'm sorry, but this is who I am. I will do anything, sacrifice anyone to accomplish my goals. Whether you like it or not, you're coming with me to the Beta World line. You're my hostage, and you have no say in the matter. Let chaos descend upon the world. That is the choice of Steins Gate. Mayuri ignores my performance. She gets to her feet and lurches towards the door. I quickly grab her by the wrist. Where are you going?
I need to see Christian. Please, Okarin, I have to talk to her.
There's no way I can refuse Mayuri's request. I contacted Karisu. We arranged to meet at the UPX overpass at 4:30 in the morning. I was wondering why she wanted to meet so early, but I understand once I see her. She's dragging a large suitcase.
Thanks for coming to see me off.
She faces us with a smile. Does that suitcase mean what I think it does?
Oh, yeah, it does.
You're going back to America. Karisu nods.
I was supposed to go back at the beginning of the month, but then I ran into a certain mad scientist and ended up staying longer than planned. There's nothing else I can help you with anyway, and I don't want to be a liability.
Is she doing this for me, or is she trying to outrun her fear? It's not my right to stop her, even if I did, I wouldn't change anything. Today, as planned, I will crack Steins' database and move to the Beta World line. I've made my decision. Mayuri is next to me, standing, still, with her head hung.
What's wrong, Mayuri? Are you feeling sick?
I gently nudge her back. Come on, Mayuri. She takes one step, pauses for a second, then leaps on Kurisu with a cry.
Christian!
Is that a thumbnail? Is that the thumbity thumb? That's probably the thumbity thumbnail, right? That's like, the end. This is it. This is over. Looks like an end.
Whoa, what's going on?
Mayushi doesn't want Christian to disappear.
Kurisu hears the desperate plea in Mayuri's voice. She gives me a look that asks, did you tell her? I silently nod.
You can't disappear, not for Mayushi, okay?
Mayuri.
Mayushi doesn't want to live if Christian has to die.
As I expected Mayuri might say that. It's absolutely essential that I remain firm. I feel bad for the Kurisu, but it needs to be said. This is the way it has to be. I chose you, Mayuri. You have an obligation to live. Pain stabs through my heart. These words are reprehensible. Kurisu and I made a pact. She agreed to trade her life for yours. If that sacred covenant is broken, this world is doomed. I clench my fists tight to suppress my self-loathing. Don't put Kurisu's feelings to waste, Mayuri.
But...
Thank you, Mayuri.
Kurisu wraps her arms around Mayuri's back, returning the hug.
But this is my decision too. I'm okay with it, really. Okabe loves you, you know?
What?
What are you saying?
It's true, isn't it?
She gives me a mischievous smile.
It would make him really sad if you died. I don't want him to be sad, do you?
But if Chris-chan goes away, it'll make Mayushi sad.
Yeah, I know. It makes me sad too. But this was going to happen eventually. I had to go back to America sooner or later. So even if you move to another world line, just think of me as being in America. It's practically the same thing.
That's not the problem. I don't want Christian to disappear. Let's stop this, okay? Don't make Christian disappear.
Kurisu separates from Mayuri and gazes straight into her face.
You have to listen to us now, Mayuri.
She uses a gentle tone as if speaking to a child. Then she lightly bumps Mayuri on the head.
Okabe, don't ever let go of her again.
I know. I'm not gonna cry, guys. I'm not gonna cry.
Well, I'm off. Thank God I'll never have to see your silly face again.
She punctuates her insult with a smile. She's so cheerful now, a far cry from the shivering girl in the dark. To see her like this breaks my heart. I'm sorry. I repeat the words in my heart again and again, begging for forgiveness. Kurisu turns to go.
Don't go, Christian. Please don't go.
Don't follow me.
She shouts over her shoulder. Mayuri freezes.
I don't want pity. It will only make it worse. This is my decision. Nothing you can say will change my mind. Goodbye. Promise me, Mayuri. Promise me you'll find happiness.
With that, Kurisu walks away. Early morning Akihabara, well before sunrise. The trains are just starting to run. I know this is necessary for the story in order for us to get closure and stuff like that, but when you really think about it, none of this really matters, this confrontation or not any of it, because we're about to undo all of it and this world line will cease to exist. So, honestly, none of it really matters. She disappears into the station, dragging her suitcase behind her, alone. Mayuri falls to her knees, her face streaked with tears. As I approach, I hear her voice.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
You have nothing to apologize for. This was my decision and mine alone. Kurisu will disappear, for I chose not to save her. I chose to bring chaos to the world. You can't forgive me, can you, Mayuri? Then hate me. But even then, you're staying with me to the end. I have chosen. To save you, I will let Kurisu die. So hate me, loathe me, curse my name, but I will not turn back. Nobody can stop me now. Mayuri slowly stands up, then she buries her face into my chest, just like she did to Kurisu.
Okay, Anna. Tell me how you really feel.
how I really feel. Mary looks straight up into my eyes.
I want to know what's in your heart, your honest feelings. Mayushi doesn't want to be a burden anymore.
You're not a burden. How can you think that? This is about me, because I want to save you, because I can't bear to lose you.
Yeah, thank you, Okarin. Thank you.
Mary tries her hardest to smile through her tears, and then once again she buries her face into my chest.
I've been having scary dreams lately. In those dreams, you always try to save me. They weren't dreams, were they? You were fighting to save Mayushi, weren't you?
Oh god, dude. I'm getting a little choked up. Getting a little choked in the upward direction. It's the fucking, this theme. Whenever it plays, I swear, I get the feels.
Okarin, you know, Mayushi loves you. Mayushi can smile every day because you're there for me. Can we be together from now on, too?
Of course. I answer Mayuri with my embrace. How can you ask that? I don't want to be apart from you either.
Yeah, Mayushi will find happiness, just like I promised Christian.
Yeah.
Let's be happy together.
We will.
Never let go of me.
I won't.
Let me love you forever.
Of course. Is this is this supposed to be like we're in a relationship? I mean, I guess I'm fine with it. Really, my ultimate goal was to make sure that Mayuri would live. So, the little details of if we're in a relationship, if she doesn't like me at all, if we're like brother and sister, those don't really matter a ton to me as long as she's alive. But I've always said I don't really think of her in that way. I think of her more as like a little sister, not as like a significant other. But hey, I mean, I guess if Kurisu's out of the question, then sure. I guess. I mean, it's just weird to me that she's so young, you know? She's 16, I'm 18. I know, in Japan that's fine, whatever, guys. It's just weird to me, personally. The radiance of the rising sun pours out between the buildings, daybreak. As the sky grows brighter, we remain in our embrace, as if to reassure each other that we're still here. Hiccup. The time has come. We will now commence the final phase of Operation Verdandi. Mayuri and Daru turn to me and nod. Today is the last day of Kamima. Daru wanted to attend, of course, but a little begging convinced him to prioritize the operation. I take a look around the lab. These 20 days have seen constant change. It's incredible to think that at one point this lab had a whole 8 members. And now we're back to 3. The memories we made, the experiences we shared to save Mayuri, I will undo them all. There is sorrow in me, and guilt. I engrave them deep inside my heart. I'll never forget, I mustn't forget these long yet short summer days. But still, I choose to erase our memories. I choose to return everything to normal. Suzuha's mission is irrelevant. I'm not doing this for the future. I am. As long as Mayuri lives, nothing else matters. Daru, you may begin.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Daru starts typing on the IBM 5100. It's already connected to his main computer. This will get us into CERN's central database, where they keep the data they mine with Echelon. There, we will locate the first email I sent on July 28th and erase all trace of its existence. With this, I can reach the Beta World line. At last, Mayuri will be safe. I look at Mayuri. She's on the couch, sitting straight as a ramrod. What the hell's a ramrod? With her grandmother's pocket watch pressed to her ear. She stays still with her eyes closed. Whenever Mayuri wants to calm down, she listens to the sound of that pocket watch. Ever since we parted with Kurisu, Mayuri has said nothing about my choice. I guess she's come to terms with it in her own way. The actual work I'd left to Daru, no problem there. While waiting for him to finish, I walk into the development room. In the center of the room is the time leap machine. I squat down and gently brush my fingers against the microwave surface. It's cool to the touch. I've made irreplaceable friends because of this thing, and because of this thing I've hurt them. But I don't want to blame the tool. It's how you use the tool that matters, and I've got to admit it saved me more than once. But still, once this is over, I'll destroy the time leap machine. We must never make the same mistakes again.
Okarin, I found it. It's really there.
The time leap machine won't exist after this, right? The D-mail I sent, it's there. Without Kurisu, the time leap machine doesn't exist.
It sure is, man.
Daru points to a string of characters. My name is there, followed by the message I wrote about Kadisu's death. 3 lines total, each 12 characters long. This data led CERN to our doorstep. An FB's instruction, Mocha and the Rounders attack. If Suzuha is right, then by erasing this data, we will escape the Attractor Field Alpha, where CERN dominates the future. That will take us to the Attractor Field Beta, to the Beta World line within its range of convergence. To a future without Mayuri's death. Mayuri is standing next to me, gazing intently at the monitor. She grasps my hand firmly.
Okarine.
It's okay. She looks anxious, so I pat her head to calm her down.
Everything's set. One press of the enter key and the data's gone.
Daru stands up and gestures to the open seat. Let's do it, boy!
I'll leave that honor to you, Okarine.
I sit down and face the keyboard. This time, it ends. Kadisu's face floats through my mind. I close my eyes and take a deep breath. Goodbye, Kadisu. I slowly raise my right hand and extend my index finger. Victory is at hand! Daru twitches at my cry. With unimaginable brilliance and unwavering conviction, I have defeated our vast and powerful enemy and now stand triumphant on the field of Ragnarok. I give thanks to my comrades whose sacrifice made this victory possible. One press of this key and Kadisu will die. I firmly grip my coat at the shoulder, where it's been stitched together with jagged pink thread. Of course it was a pink thread. The coming world is the world I wish for. I wish for Mayuri to live and Kadisu to die. That is the truth, and I must never forget it. This is the choice of Steins Gate. This is the choice of Okabe Rintaro. Else I Kanguru. Let the world be reborn. I swing down my... Oh shit, boy! We hit 1.13% convergence! After a while, the spinning stops and color gradually returns to the world. Reading Steiner, activate. What's our phone look like now? Nothing. There's nothing. Except some static. Just some static. What's the static, I wonder? Huh. Reading Steiner activated. The world line has changed. I look around the room. Next to me is Daru. Behind me is Mayuri. I reach out to her and she takes my hand with a smile. Everything is where it should be. It looks like nothing has changed at all. I gently touch the coat. Gently touch my coat's shoulder where Kadisu fixed the torn seam. It's gone. My coat isn't torn. The stitches, uneven from having been sewn in the dark, have disappeared. Another hiccup. There's no trace of that ridiculous pink thread. I stand up and head to the development room. Underneath the table, the time leap machine. No, that's not the time leap machine. That's the phone wave. The upgrades Kadisu made are gone. Nothing has changed. This world is exactly the same. In all respects, save one. Kadisu was never here. I thought that I was prepared for this, but now that I'm face to face with the cruel consequence of my decision, I feel powerless, defeated. I want to cry.
What's wrong, Okarine?
Mayuri runs up and grabs my arm. Say, Mayuri.
Yeah?
Who was lab ma'am number 4 again? I need to ask, even though I know what the answer will be.
Number 4? But Okarine, there's only 3 lab ma'ams, remember? Okarine, Mayushi, and Daru-kun.
The tears come. I crumble to my knees. Oh shit, dude. Talk about the tears coming. I got the feels. And cover my face with my hands. Yeah, right, our lab doesn't have a 4th member. It never did. Her existence was rejected by this world.
Okarine, something really sad happened, didn't it?
Mayushi rubs my back.
Mayushi's here for you, Okarine.
I embrace Mayuri. I stifle my voice and cry.
Okarine, don't cry.
Please, don't leave me, Mayuri. Please, stay by my side forever. Mayuri tenderly strokes my head.
Mayushi will always be with you. Always, just like this.
All trace of Kadisu's existence has vanished. This proves that I have returned to my original world line. This is the world I struggled to reach. The world Suzuha traveled through time to create. A world where the future is free. Nothing has changed, and yet, this is my utopia. Oh shit, boy. That's it. That's it. Really? That's it. Alright, well, I suppose I will give you guys my final thought-arinos while this plays. So here's what we'll do. I'll give you my final thoughts, and then, we will go over the other possible endings after the credits, just so I can see if there's anything else. But, final thoughts on the game. I really enjoyed Steins Gate. I know a lot of people, towards the end, you know, around, like, the late 30s, and, episode-wise, a lot of people started to sense the fact that I was getting tired of doing this series, and as a result, people thought that I didn't like the game, or the series, or whatever. Guys, that's not the case at all. The situation was basically just, I have been doing this series for so long, that doing videos on it, I was tired of doing videos on it. Because we have been doing this series since October, and that is my fault, because I have neglected this series quite a bit, but as a result, I don't know, it drew out for a very long period of time, and, I touched on this in the last episode. I feel like I would enjoy the anime much more than the visual novel. And that's because, the anime is probably around 6 hours. This, if you're going for the true ending, it's probably closer to like 40 hours. And to me personally, that's just way too long. I think it would have been perfect at maybe like at 15 hours. 15 hours would have been great. And if you're one of those people that's saying, yeah, but then you'd have to cut out stuff and you'd miss stuff, the anime is widely considered one of the best anime ever made. Like, in all of existence, I'm pretty sure it's considered the best sci-fi anime ever made, which is crazy when you think that Cowboy Bebop counts. Oh, there's more. Let's continue. Let's continue. The night of the 17th passed, the night of the 18th passed, and Mayuri still didn't die. I've kept a close watch for 3 days since then. There have been no attacks, no accidents, no sign that anything might happen. That was enough to convince me that Mayuri is safe. Together with Daru, I destroyed the phone wave and the IBM 5100. Although we have lost the ability to send emails, that is a small price to pay to stay below Cern's radar. Tenoshi is downstairs in the Braun Tube workshop watching TV on the 42-inch CRT, like always. When I went to check out Radio Kaken, I found it open for business, as usual. A search of the internet turned up no mention of a satellite crash. Instead, I found a small article in the local section of a newspaper dated July 28th. It was a report on Kadisu's murder. There was no follow-up. The culprit is still at large. According to Daru, the police questioned me several times. It was I who had discovered the body, after all. Of course, I don't remember any of that. At any rate, Mayuri is still alive. I guess you never find out who killed Kadisu in this version, but I'm sure I will find out when I read up on the endings and tell you guys, which we will still do. We're still gonna read the possible endings, and I'll tell you guys all the juicy info, what I think of it. I've accomplished what I set out to do. It's over.
Okarin!
Mayuri emerges from the ticket gate, waving her hand as she runs my way. She weaves through the gaps between shoppers and maids handing out leaflets, and when she gets to me, she looks at me with puppy dog eyes.
Ah!
Well, why are you crying? Mayuri doesn't answer me. She just strokes my cheek gently, silently. She's crying, but she doesn't seem sad. Rather, she seems overcome with emotion.
Okarin came to pick me up. You waited for me, Yoshi. I'm so happy.
Don't get so happy over every little thing. Mayuri wipes away her tears, making room for her shy, innocent smile. See, guys, how can you not love Mayuri? Come on, she's so precious. She's so innocent. She should never die.
So Mayushi class changed from hostage to girlfriend, right?
What? Indeed. What? What? Okay, I guess we're dating. Alright, I guess I'm fine with that, as long as you get to live, sure. I have no idea how to respond to such an embarrassing question, but she's right. Mayuri and I are officially a couple. After these long, painful 20 days, I finally noticed how important Mayuri is to me, plus, she told me that she loved me.
Thank goodness! It wasn't just a dream!
Let's get going already. I'm gonna die standing in this damn heat. I start walking without waiting for Mayuri's response.
But the lab's hot too, isn't it?
At least we've got a fan, and besides, I'm thirsty. Gotta get my daily dose of Dr. Pepper. It's Sunday. Despite the heat, I see plenty of shoppers laden with bags enjoying themselves on the streets of Akiba. I suddenly feel a void in my heart. Nothing about this town has changed, yet it feels like something is missing from my life. No doubt it's the gap that was left by Karisu. But there's no such thing as a perfect future. That is a fantasy that nobody can realize. I mustn't forget. This is the future I wish for, fought for, and won. I have what is most important to me, Mayuri. I should be thankful for that. I am blessed far beyond the common man. I don't know why people say that this ending is so bad. I like this. I look beside me and realize that Mayuri's not there. Oh my god, if Mayuri dies, I'm gonna be so upset. I'm gonna be so upset. I turn around. She's not here either. She's not there either. Mayuri? She's gone. She's always like this. Sometimes she just wanders off. Anxiety seizes my heart. Mayuri promised she would never leave me. This world line is worthless without her. Mayuri! I shout her name at the top of my lungs. I search for her in the crowd, but it's too thick to see. Mayuri!
Over here!
I turn around to see Mayuri running towards me. In her hands is shaved ice.
You said it was hot, remember? I thought it'd be nice to eat something cold.
Honestly, if Mayuri ended up dying anyway, like, I would hate this. I would officially hate this game. And then everyone would say,
Well, you see, she ends up dying because you're really supposed to get the true ending because that's the only real ending to the story.
yeah, dude, whatever. Don't scare me like that. I feel so relieved. I want to embrace that small body of hers, but we're in public, so I stop myself. I take the shaved ice and hold my empty hand out to Mayuri. Hold my hand.
Okay.
Mayuri takes my hand. Maybe that'll be the thumbnail. I think that might be the thumbnail. That's a good place where I can put end. Maybe. Mayuri takes my hand, her slender fingers intertwined with mine. Let's save the shaved ice for when we get to the lab. It's too hard to eat while walking.
Huh? But won't it melt?
If it melts, it melts.
Oh, well, I guess you're right. We can't eat if we're holding hands anyway.
I won't let go. I won't ever let you go.
Mayushi won't let go either.
Mayuri puts a little more strength into her grip. Love for her fills my heart. Suddenly, Mayuri looks up at Radio Kagan.
Okarin? Is it possible to dream when you're awake?
When you're awake, you mean a daydream.
Is that what it's called? You're so smart. I don't know who it was, but Mayushi feels like she had a very important friend.
What?
And whenever I think about that important friend, my heart hurts, like, you know? And sometimes I hear a voice.
A voice?
The voice tells me to find happiness.
All of that was undone. I erased those memories, sacrificed them.
I wonder if that voice is reading Mayushi's with Okari now.
Perhaps everyone remembers their experiences from otherworld lines. Those memories may be vague and tenuous, but they're there. They speak to us in the form of dreams, visions, and deja vu.
If I ever meet that person, I want to tell them thanks.
I'm not the only one who remembers.
I wonder who it was.
It must have been God.
Oh, well, thanks, God. Mayushi's really happy.
Mayuri looks up. She reaches out to the sky. Like always, she shakes hands with the stardust twinkling beyond the coat of blue. I look up too to hold back the tears. That's the thumbity thumbnail. That right there is the thumbity thumbnail. Bada bing, bada boom. And on we walk, hand in hand. Okay, so there's the ending. We live happily ever after. Sir never takes over the world. Mayuri lives. Honestly, that's like my perfect ending. Like, I haven't read what the true ending is yet, guys. But that's like the perfect ending to me. I as much as I did enjoy Kurisu, you know, I would rather just have Mayuri alive and Kurisu gone and Sir never takes over the world. That seems like a pretty good ending to me, kids. Seems pretty good to me. But anyway, to finish off my opinions on the game, I think it would have been really good as about 20 hours because 15, 20 hours long instead of like 30, 40. And the main reason for that is because the anime is widely considered like amazing. And since the anime is only 6 hours, it shows that you can tell this storyline in a much shorter medium. So you can still get through a lot of stuff, but it's a lot shorter. And I think that the game would have benefited from that if it was a bit shorter, because it was very long, guys. Very, very long. So, you know, and we never got to see Gel Mayuri, so maybe that's a true ending thing, who knows. But yeah, those are my opinions on the game. Overall, I would say it's a fantastic game, a fantastic story, worth experiencing, but I think the anime is more cut out for me because it's much shorter. And when you grow up, kids, you don't have 40 hours to spend on a video game following some crazy-ass flowchart to ensure that you make all the right decisions so you can get the true ending. When you grow up, you just don't have that time. I know most of you are youngins, and so you're probably like on summer break and stuff, you got a ton of free time or whatever, but most adults don't have 40 hours to throw aside, especially when you're like me. I have 200 games in my Steam library, and I'd like to play all of them, so I don't really have time to devote 40 hours to a single game. But yeah, here's what I will do now. I will go ahead and read the possible endings, and then I will tell you them, and I will tell you what I think of them. I have no idea how long this has been. Sorry, it's probably been pretty long. But I'll be back when I read those thingy-majiggers. Okay, be back. Alright, everybody, I will now read you guys. Prepare, because this is sort of long. I will read you the Karisu ending, as well as the true ending. All of this is, I'm getting all of this from the Steins Gate wiki. It actually has a super thorough breakdown of every single chapter, everything that happens in every single chapter, as well as what chapters correspond to what episodes in the anime, as well as what endings, everything that happens in the endings. So that's where I'm getting all of this. I'm sure a lot of things will have been different if you got the true ending flags throughout the game, but I don't really want to go through and read all of it, so I'm just gonna read you the Karisu ending and the true ending, and then give you my opinions on them. Here's the Karisu ending. It picks up from where, I believe it picks up from where they are inside, Radio Cake Inn, and it was raining, okay? And he embraces her because he doesn't want to make a decision. Karisu gently, here, I'll read it in the narrator voice. Karisu gently pushes away from him. Seeing Okarin couldn't make a decision, she raises her voice, saying she will not help him this time, and will be heading back to America. She leaves the building first. Okarin returns to the lab and stares at the telephone cooker, unwilling to use it. I guess they mean the time leap machine. He suddenly hears Karisu's voice behind him. She had come back because she couldn't stand to see Okarin suffering so much. However, she still insists he makes the final change. As Okarin thinks back to the days and everything that they've been through together, he realizes Karisu wasn't just a friend to him anymore. He had fallen in love with her. He had to say something. Okarin confesses his love and asks how Karisu felt about him. She blushes, grabs him by his coat, and orders him to close his eyes. Their lips lock. Ooh! Okarin looks at Karisu, surprised. She stutters, telling him not to forget her. Okarin replies in his usual voice filled with pride that it wasn't enough. It wasn't his first kiss, so he'll need another one to remember her. They kiss again, but longer this time. Time seemed to flash by for that brief moment. The next day, Okarin sees Karisu off. She didn't want to see anyone else to come. Okarin gives her one of Mirai Gadget's inventions. Future gadgets. Mirai, I guess that's future in, I don't know, Japanese. A camera to take with her back to America as a memento. As Karisu walks off into the distance, Okarin shouts out that he'll never forget her. Returning back to the lab, he makes a speech as his mad scientist self, and with tears in his eyes, his hand moves down to hit the enter key to erase the very first email he sent from the CERN servers. Suddenly, Karisu bursts in through the door, just in time to say she will never forget Okarin too. The reading signer trigger takes effect, and Okarin finds himself still in the lab. Daru Mayuri was standing there, but there were no signs of Karisu left, not even that little piece of thread she used to fix his lab coat sleeve with. The telephone cooker, telephone cooker, I guess when they say that, they mean the time machine, the phone wave. hasn't been developed further, and the others don't remember Karisu at all. Okarin tries to put on another victory speech again, but Mayuri could tell that he wanted to cry. In his heart, secretly, he asked why was he made to choose. Why did Karisu have to see him off with a smile? The tears came bursting out as Mayuri gently comforted. 3 days after the fated hour, Mayuri was still alive and well. Okarin decided it was safe to dismantle the telephone cooker and the IBM 5100. Daru thought it was a shame they couldn't sell the computer for a huge sum of money, and to Mayuri, a microwave was essential, but Okarin insists that it was best for them, and they can find a new microwave. He gazes at the trash devices and remembers Karisu's words that even though she may have made mistakes, she didn't regret them. It was all a part of accepting herself and learning who she was. Okarin agrees and finally concludes humankind cannot rely on time machines. It was beyond their control, and things were best as they were. Alright, so my thoughts on that ending. It's basically the same ending, except Okarin is more sad because he didn't get to be with Karisu. Karisu's just fucking dead. Like, what's the point of romancing someone if they're gonna die? Or they're not gonna exist. Like, what the hell? So I greatly prefer the Mayuri ending over that, except it is nice that, you know, the world is never taken over. Anyway, the true ending. This continues from Makis Karisu's ending. Alright, so this is a continuation of what I just read you. One day, Daru receives a call from a mysterious woman in the lab. He passes it on to Okarin and finds it was Suzuha from the future. Confused, Okarin goes to the Radio Kaken building that was still sealed off due to the unsolved murder investigation. On the roof, he finds Suzuha, who seemed older, probably in her 40s, and the satellite-shaped time machine hadn't crashed this time. She claims the Third World War takes place in the future where she comes from. Okarin grabs her, wondering if Karisu's death and everything he has been through was for nothing. Suzuha calms him down a little to say that to change this new bleak future, they have to save Karisu. They must reach the Steins Gate timeline. Crazy. This time, they were going to use Suzuha's completed time machine to travel back in time to the day of the lecture. Unlike the previous timeline, this new model allows them to travel back and forward in time. Suzuha breaks the emergency exit open with her gun. Okarin runs down and hides himself where Karisu is found murdered. Moments later, Karisu appears happily holding a manila envelope. She appeared to be waiting for someone. Dr. Nakabaki appears, and it turns out he was her father. Oh my god. I kind of called that, but I called it for Suzuha. Bum-bum! Karisu really wanted to help restore her father's reputation about time travel, but he thought she wanted to steal his glory. He takes out a knife, saying it was her fault he was made a fool. He's going to take credit for her work instead. Wow, what a nice guy. What a solid stand-up dude. Okarin leaps out, trying to stop him, and manages to take the knife away. Nakabaki stares in horror, and as the angered Okarin gets ready to strike, doing whatever it takes to save Karisu. A splash of blood covers his lab coat, but it wasn't Nakabaki's. The blood came from Karisu. She had dived in to protect her father. Karisu didn't know who he was, but apologizes that he had to be caught up in this mess. What? You ended up killing Karisu? That's a little fucked. Her voice started to trail away quietly, barely uttering that she didn't want to die and wanted to help. Suzuha rushes to help the shocked Okarin back to the time machine, not knowing that the cry he heard in the building was his own. Alright, so it's a weird, like, time loop sort of thing. Prepare, guys. There's still quite a bit more, so get ready. Okarin was ready to give up trying to save Karisu, believing that the conservation of time meant he couldn't do it, just like when he tried to save Mayuri, but Mayuri slaps him and tries to encourage him to try again. Is that supposed to be Mayuri, or is that supposed to be Suzuha? Who knows? I want to say that it's Suzuha that slaps him, but oh no. Well, who knows? Just then, his phone rings, and he receives an anonymous email telling him to watch TV. Okarin recognized the date. It was from the future, and that means it must be a D-mail. They turn on the TV channel on his phone and find the cargo hold in a plane that Nakabaki was on had caught fire while he was being exiled to Russia. What the fuck? The time travel documents he stole would have been burned too, but thanks to the rare metal Uber being detected during the security scans, he ended up carrying the documents with him somehow. What? This is all getting very confusing. Somehow, Dr. Nakabaki had picked it up when Mayuri lost it. As a result, the Third World War breaks out between the countries in a race to obtain time travel. Okay, so basically the battle takes place, World War III takes place because of Kurisu's research on time travel. Interesting. Suzuha knew all along that this was going to happen, including Okarin failing to save Kurisu. She apologizes that she didn't explain everything to him, but she was instructed by Okarin from the future to let him fail once. She points to his phone, indicating there's another email that contains an attachment with a video clip on it. Okarin opens the video and sees a silhouette of himself. He hears his own voice. It turns out he had to let Kurisu be killed once, or he would have never had the will to upgrade the D-mail system so that he can send a recording back in time too. The future Okarin explains that he suffered the guilt for 15 years and has concluded that time travel will not save Kurisu. What they had to do to stop the time machine from ever being invented and feign Kurisu's death to fool the world and himself. Otherwise, he would never be able to send a message long enough to himself. Kurisu will also be saved because her father will think she died in Japan. The metal Uber must also be replaced so that the documents end up being left in the cargo hold and burned. Okarin remembers one of his gadgets that can create fake-looking blood and gets Mayuri to go fetch it. What? He has a gadget that can do that? I don't remember that in his list of gadgets. It was the last trip before the time machine runs out of fuel. He had to save Kurisu this time. After arriving back in the past, Okarin hurries down so that he's the first to use the gachapon machines and receives the only limited edition metal Uber inside. Oh, the little Upa thing. The little Upa thing is the rare metal from the very first episode. The rare Upa that Mayuri got. What the hell? Okay, so when they say that's interesting. Interesting. Feel free to clear any of this up in the comments, by the way. Just in case, future Okarin hides to confirm Mayuri only gets a plastic one. An announcement that the time travel presentation was about to start, Mayuri rushes off and drops the Uber. That's Upa in the game, so all the times I've said Uber, I guess it's supposed to be Upa. This is weird. I guess like the Japanese version is different or something? I'm not sure. Okarin waits and finds Kurisu picking it up. She looks around to see who could have dropped it, but since there's no one around, she ends up putting it inside the envelope with the time travel theory documents. Okarin makes his way to the same spot where Kurisu meets her father and was going to use the gadget to create fake blood to scare them, but it was clogged up. He had to think of another plan. Okarin intervenes at the same time again, but this time with his confident Huine mad scientist ego back again. He provokes Nakabaki to stab him and succeeds. Okarin is stabbed and he takes the knife. He then takes out a stun gun, threatening that he will kill both Kurisu and Nakabaki. Kurisu tries to help Okarin, but ends up being stunned and passes out on the floor. Scared, Nakabaki flees the scene. What the fuck? Suzuha arrives just in time as Okarin opens up his wound to create a pool of blood on the floor. He was betting on the conservation of time events means that he won't die. After letting Suzuha move Kurisu onto the pile of blood, they slowly make their way back to the time machine. Ready to travel back to the future, Okarin closes his eyes as Suzuha says farewell, hoping it really is the Steins Gate timeline that awaited them. It's been a month since Okarin was hospitalized, and he had recovered now. It was another beautiful summer day, and he had in his pocket a replica of the pin badge that Suzuha had brought back with her to the past. He had asked Daru to make 8 of them when he visited the hospital. He goes about visiting every person he had made a lab member, even though they had no memories of being one in this timeline. Luca, Ferris, and Mocha, who was no longer part-time at Bronze. Daru and Mayuri got 1-2 back at the lab. Oh, they got one of the pins. Gotcha. There was no satellite now, but a badge will be kept for Suzuha in the future. Dr. Nakabari remains exiled in Russia and was detained for questioning about the assault on the Radio Kaken building, but nothing was known about Kurisu's whereabouts. As Okarin took a walk through the streets of Akiba, a familiar figure passes by. He stops and turns around. There, standing before him, was Kurisu. She had been looking for him, wanting to thank him for saving her that day, even though they had never met. For old time's sake, Okarin takes out his phone, pretending to be talking to the secret organization he was working for, and then welcomes back Christina. For some reason, she reacts the same way she would have on the timeline when she was a lab member. Okarin takes out the last unclaimed pin badge and welcomes Kurisu back. Everything was according to Steins Gates. Alright, so people say that that's the legit OG ending. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't really like that ending too much. I'll be honest with you. So basically, World War III still starts on the Mayuri timeline, which, it kind of sucks, but it's not the same, I don't think, because it's like, it doesn't sound like a dystopian future. It does sound like World War III happens, but it doesn't sound like CERN is, like, controlling everything. Maybe they are. I don't know. But, kinda sucks that World War III still happens even on this Mayuri timeline. Crazy that Dr. Nakabaki was her dad. I guess I sort of messed up my guess. I guess that he was Suzuha's dad. Wah, wah, wah. He sounds absolutely insane, though. I thought he was gonna end up being, like, the head of CERN or something like that. Or I thought that Suzuha was gonna be the one that killed Kurisu. It was actually Yuina. Crazy, man. But honestly, I don't know. That ending is fine. People call it the true ending. That's fine, I guess. I mean, it's nice that everybody gets to live. It's nice that World War III doesn't happen. That's cool. That's pretty neato. The only thing I kind of like about that timeline is the fact that you get to see 40-year-old Suzuha. I want to know what 40-year-old Suzuha looks like, man. I'm so curious. But anyway, my final opinions, I actually like the Mayuri ending the most out of all of the endings. And the reason for that is because I like Mayuri a lot more than I like any of the other characters. And the fact that you romance Mayuri, I think that's just adorable. I think she's adorable. Sure, World War III will still happen, but I mean, you know, World War III is bound to happen sometime, eventually in history anyway. Even if it wasn't for Time Machine, there would still be a World War III eventually. There's gonna be one in real life, so who cares, right? Who cares? Sorry that was kind of a rough and long read-a-reno, but everybody wanted me to play the true ending, and that's a lot faster than playing the true ending, just reading it. So there you go. Obviously, a lot of other things changed, like I'm sure you have more heart-to-hearts with Kurisu and stuff like that, if you go with all the true ending flags. But I stand by our decisions. I like our decisions. And, yeah, I like it. I am proud of everything that we did. And I'm glad that we got to be with adorable little Mayuri here. Plans for the future of the channel. Now that we are done with Steins Gate, finally, Jesus Christ. Next will be the Outlast 2 playthrough that nobody will watch, but oh well, because I love playing scary games. And then we will go on to a different visual novel, and I will actually have you guys vote on which visual novel is next. I will ask for recommendations, and then I will probably make a straw poll. That's what I've done in the past. Preferably something... Actually, I'm not doing another 40-hour one. Preferably something that's like 10 to 20 hours. That would be good. That would be peachy. That would be excellent. The upload rate is going to go down for Outlast. I think that I'll probably post that one every like 4 days or something like that. So significantly slower. But anyway, thank you everybody for sticking with me through this series. It's been long. It's been a ride, guys. Holy shit, it's been long. I'll probably take a look at the anime now. See that. See the whole, key to all of this is just an Upa. Confirmed. The Upa is actually the main character of the whole storyline. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next series. Bye!